Hi, everybody. Welcome to our first professional development for our Common Sense Space Family and Community Engagement Program. We're so thrilled to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Today, we're going to be talking about engaging families in digital citizenship, planning for success. We want to be here for you to equip you with all of the family resources and tips and advice that you can then take back to your families. Today, I have with me my colleague, my teammate, Jasmine. So we're just going to introduce ourselves. I'll let Jasmine go first, tell you a little bit about her, and then I'll finish up.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jasmine Hood Miller. I'm Director of Family Engagement and Community Partnerships at Common Sense Media, and we're so thrilled to have you here today to welcome you to the FACE program and to help you make the most of the program. So we're really looking forward to having this conversation with you all and to hopefully share all the benefits and perks that you guys have for being part of this program and taking it back to your community. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Jasmine. And we have our information on the next slide. I'm Vicki Saylor. I'm Senior Manager for Education and Community Partnerships, and I work with Jasmine. And so some of you also might recognize me from bouncing into our Slack channel, if you're a member of our Slack channel. And I'm also the one sending out our monthly content, email, and hosting parent talks as well. So really excited to have you here. And with that, we're just going to keep moving on. This is scheduled for 60 minutes, but if we get done before that, I'm happy to let you have some time back. We know you're all busy, but in order for us just to kind of break the ice, like we're a big group. And so I'm really excited to be able to have the opportunity to work together. And part of the plan for this group is to grow professionally and personally and really expand your own network. So I want people to get to know, like, who are the other people in this group? You know, I want to be able to learn from each other, appreciate the similarities, the differences, and then really make it a really engaging group and activity every time we're together. So I want to do these activities with you. So if you want, you can participate in this Padlet. I'm going to give credit to my colleague, Sue. She's from the education team, and she does this icebreaker during her presentations, and it's really fun. I've done it with her. And what you do is you are going to describe what your digital life is like using a simile. And you can either go to Padlet, and then there should be a link for you in the chat. Or if not, just take a screenshot of that QR code, and it'll take you directly to that page. And you'll see some of the examples there that we have from past activities that we've done together. And these are some that I have created, but these are an example. So my digital life is like a roller coaster. I can't get off. I think that was somebody from the outreach team. And then somebody put, my digital life is like a party. What does it say? It's loud. There are lots of people and it's fun. And then I put the next two. I put, my digital life is like is like grocery shopping. And then I said, I go in for one item and leave with 50. That's kind of like, I go in to do one thing, right? With digital media. And then I'm like doing 10. So that's how I compared my digital life to. And then the other one was, my digital life is like a rabbit hole. Again, I go in there thinking I'm going to spend just a little bit of time on there. And then before I know it, I'm going down all these rabbit holes. So we're not very much different than the kids in our lives and our parents. And I just want to see what you think. And that's just a little icebreaker. So please feel free to add your comments in there. And then later on, I'll pull up the Padlet and see what everybody wrote in there. And that'll be something you can also access after today. So if you don't want to do it today, if you can't think of something, I encourage you to go back to it. And you can add like a little GIF or an emoji. You don't have to, but be creative. But anyways, we're going to keep moving along. But that's just something for you to think about. I want to see what you guys feel about digital media. So again, we'll take a look at it after today's presentation, and you can also access it after today. So we're going to just go on to the next slide. And I just want to go give you an overview. I think most of you know, I mean, you've done your research, you applied for this program, you registered for it, and it's pretty straightforward. You know, we found that we were getting a lot of interest in family engagement, just resources, materials, engagement. They wanted us to come out to events. And we were hearing from teachers and other community members that they were also finding that they found it very important to have a strong family engagement component to their program. And it can be anyone from somebody working in a school to somebody working in a library or another organization. This program really is designed for anyone who wants to strengthen their family engagement efforts in their schools or programs. So anyone who works with families, who wants to, improve their efforts, or if they're beginning to think about a new initiative, we highly encourage you to recommend this program to them and invite them to join. This program, again, is available to anyone, that is working with families. It's not intended to be directly for families. So that's the only caveat. So it's just for professionals, whether you're a teacher or another type of professional who works with families. You'll see that we have lots of offerings. We have our virtual parent talks. In fact, we had our first one last week, and those are available in English and Spanish. We also have 4 professional development opportunities. Today's our first one. And then we also have that monthly curated resource email that goes straight to your inbox, and that you can share in many ways. You can either email the resources, you can share them on social media, you can text. Some people use WhatsApp with their families. I also offer monthly office hours, and our first one was really cool. We had somebody join us from Canada, and we had a really great conversation about just how can we engage families more authentically, really meeting them where they're at. And we had a really great conversation, and we had another cohort member there. He's Adam. He's our education manager. He's one of our education managers, and he was there too. So when you go to these monthly office hours, you'll not only get me, but you'll also get other people from Common Sense there too. So you'll have really different perspectives and really great thought leaders there. So if you ever have a question or a concern, or you just want to get to know us better, or, we're there also to get your advice. So join me. Those are the first Wednesday of every month. And then we will announce our professional cohort today. So look out for an email. Those of you who are interested in the professional cohort, we will be sending out that email, tomorrow. We will be sending out that email tomorrow. So look out for that. And then our private Slack channel too. It's not just for me to put comments in there, okay? I invite you to go ahead and ask questions, share resources with us. We're all here to learn together. So, I really, really invite you to just immerse yourself in this experience and have that confidence to learn with us, to grow with us, and to share with us. And that's good. That's it for that.
Thank you, Vicki.
Yeah. I'm going to hand it over to Jasmine now.
Thanks, Vicki.
Yeah.
So as Vicki mentioned, there are a lot of great benefits and offerings that we have tried to pull together to offer you so that you can connect with the families in your community. And, at Common Sense, we celebrated our 20th anniversary last year. So we have 21 years of expertise and knowledge to share with families and parents. And we keep up with the latest trends, emerging media and tech, and parenting hot topics, so all the things that you're hearing. But we have family resources that are connected to our curriculum in Common Sense Education, as well as our tips and advice on Common Sense Media. And so we can even admit that sometimes it can be hard to find, that thing that you're needing to share with your parents or caregivers. And so the idea of this program is that we're really curating our top resources for you to be able to just grab and go and be able to take the best of what we have and share it with your families. And that's really why we're excited to work with the Common Sense-based members. You bridge that gap. You are the specialists, the teachers, advocates, and directors that, whose role is to support families, or you've just committed to making it part of your work at your school or organization. And also many of you are parents. And so we are really trying to take all of our parenting resources and make it easy for you to get to. And so with that, I'm actually going to walk us through how to access all of those great benefits that Vicki just went through that you're seeing here on the screen. And I'm going to share my screen, so just give me 1 second, because I'm going to take us to the FACE Hub. And this FACE Hub is where you'll be able to find kind of everything you need to make the most of the FACE program. So let me share my screen. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. Can you see my screen? Okay, there. So this is our family and community engagement member hub. This hub is available exclusively to the members of the FACE program. And here is where you will find all of our resources. So we have our FACE program guide. This guide is really our kind of instructions on helping you be able to, like I said, make the most of the program, find everything that you need. It has all the links that that you want to have at your, like, right at hand. And so there, it also walks through the scope and sequence of our FACE toolkit, which I'll show in just a moment. And all of the different topics that we have in that toolkit, in the variety of formats. It helps you know how to search for things within the toolkit. We also have our implementation recommendations, and Vicki will go through this later and in just a few moments, but how to take the resources that are in the toolkit and really use them to connect with families. And then, so going back to the hub, that is the program guide. We also have all of our webinars, our live events in English and Spanish for parents. So these are our webinars that we invite you to share out with your families. Provide the registration link. We also provide some promotional messaging and images for you to share it with families so that they can sign up for these 30-minute chats where they are hearing from our experts, as well as guest experts that we invite in to talk on a variety of topics. And so if you click into the webinar series, you can see all of the dates that we have for this year. So our webinar series for our parent talks are here. The next one coming up is in October. The registrations for the English and Spanish are here. You can also see the replays of the past webinars. So we just had one last week. You can get those videos here, as well as the dates for our professional development. So that is all here on this events page from the hub. Go back to the hub. There's also a calendar here. You can subscribe to a Google Calendar if you want to just add all of these dates onto your calendar. It also includes our cohort meetings, our office hours. So all of those are also on that calendar. And then going down into the actual family engagement toolkit. So the toolkit is our calendar style curation of the best common sense content that addresses parents' top concerns. And we kind of broke it out in a couple of different ways. There is a scope and sequence based on these topics throughout the school year. You can access it here, but it may be easier to just open it up, and you can click here to open the full Airtable, which is what the platform we've used to host the toolkit. And so when you open up the toolkit, it will provide a view of the toolkit in a couple of different ways. So the first is, actually, I'm going to take you here first. There's this calendar view where you can see each month all the resources. We have tip sheets, we have videos, and PDFs that you can share, articles. We have quick messages that you can share on social that come with different images. And so if you click into any of these, it'll open up with the information. So this is a video that we can share on media balance. you can go down. There's messages like these that share images and messaging that you can use to, if you have a text message service that you communicate with families, you can share it there, or you can use it on your social channels if you're communicating with the parents in your community there. So that is one way to view the toolkit. There's also a way to look at it by month, where you can just open up these drop downs and see all of the resources for that topic for that month. And each month has its corresponding topic. So right now we're focused on media literacy. And the one thing that we did want to highlight with this toolkit is that even though we are suggesting a different featured topic each month, the toolkit is completely modular. You can take any of these resources at any point during the year. If you're focusing on, privacy and safety, it doesn't have to be just in October or November. You can take any of these resources, open them up, and share them with your families. So it is completely modular, and you can use them at any point. We just have these kind of this suggested cadence, and you'll see in the monthly email that you'll get from Vicki, some of these resources highlighted for that month that we're featuring. But you can grab them here at any time. And then just the last view here is the grid view, which is maybe another helpful way to look at this. I also want to just show that you can easily find things based on the topic. You can filter down to, if you're looking just for things for parental controls, you can filter that way, or you can filter by grade level. You can also look at what resources we have in other languages. We have most of the resources are available in English and Spanish. You'll see here which ones are. We do also have some resources that are available in other languages, particularly our tip sheets that are available in PDF form, and we have those translated. You can search for things if you're looking, if you want to just type in the search and find what you're looking for. So this Airtable is really hopefully an easy way for you to navigate, to grab the things that you need based on some of those really important and popular topics that you're hearing from parents concerning their kids' media and tech use. So that is the toolkit. Again, if you go to the program guide, there's some instructions on just how to walk through it if you miss any of that. Vicki also mentioned our Slack community. We have this really great Slack community where we are sharing resources. We're hearing from you all on, what's working in your community, what you're doing, how you're taking these resources and using them. What are just some of your family engagement best practices? So we really hope that you will join the Slack community and be active there and engage with us there. Here's the link for the office hours. If you need them, they'll also be available in the monthly emails, and also on that Google Calendar that I showed earlier. That is a Zoom meeting that Vicki will be leading. The cohort Vicki mentioned, and then the only thing that we ask, this program is completely free, just in the spirit of partnership and collaboration. We'll be sharing out a brief survey 3 or 4 times over the course of this school year. We're just asking to hear feedback from you all on, which resources you're finding most useful. How are you sharing them? What's the feedback you're getting from families? And so that will be hopefully a way for us to be able to improve our program, make sure that we're giving you the most relevant content, and make any adjustments based on what we're hearing from you and your families. The last thing I would just say is, if you haven't already, please sign up for our education newsletter. That's a weekly newsletter that shares all of our best education resources as well.
Thank you, Jasmine.
I think that's it. The only other thing, did I show everything? Yeah. This was the email. So this was the September's email. So just make sure you check your inbox to make sure you got that. It has lots of great resources in it. And I think that's it. I'm going to turn it back to Vicki.
Yeah, thank you. I see a question. Is there any chance of expanding the languages? So you spoke a little bit about our tip sheets. Now, I know we don't have Ukrainian, but I know we have Russian, and I don't think that's the most common language in the Ukraine, but I think there's a high population of Russian speakers. Any information on that, Jasmine?
So we do have just some of our resources, as I said, translated right now. We have our education team is looking at expanding our translation. I'm not sure of the exact list of languages that they are considering, but we also have a lot of schools that have reached out to us and have done their own translations. All of our resources are available under the Creative Commons license, which means that we simply just ask that you maintain the credit for the content. But if you have the ability to translate and use the resources, we welcome that completely.
Cool. Well, thank you, Jasmine. Yeah, we're going to keep moving on. And before I go into what we used as the foundation of our family and community engagement program, I want to hear from all of you. You are experts in your field, and we really want to hear what you think about family engagement. So I have a mentee available for you, and we have our colleague Elena on the call as well, and she's managing our chat. And so you can either go to menti.com and enter the code 79179730, or you can scan the QR code and it'll take you directly to that survey. And it's just going to ask you, what are some family engagement best practices? And it's an open-ended question, so it'll be short sentences or small paragraph form. Again, go ahead and fill that out if you feel like sharing. If you want to think about it some more, that's okay too. We're going to give you a little bit of time just to reflect. I'll give you about a minute or so just to think, to get your thoughts together. It doesn't have to be so deep, but just what are some family engagement best practices that you think should be included in a strong family engagement program? And then we will share the results a little later as well. And I will also post the results from the Padlet as well as the Mentee on our Slack channel. So if you aren't a member of our Slack channel, it's a really great way to just keep in touch with us regularly. It's designed to be just a casual forum of sorts. I don't want to say it's social media, but it's kind of like social media. We want to get to know each other. We want the vibe to be really laid back and just friendly. We really want to make a community with you. But I'll come in sometimes and I'll share things off the cuff, like, hey, I found this article. Sometimes I'll put a survey in there. Or for example, like today, I'll share some results from a webinar or even a recording. So take a minute and think about that. And then you can also add your comments in the chat if you'd like. And at the end of today's session, we'll look at the comments and also questions. If you want to put those in the chat and leave those for the end, we'll have a Q&A session so we can engage your top questions and concerns. And we can engage with you in that conversation. And Elena, are you able to pull up the results right now to see if it's working? Or Jasmine, are you able to share or no? Not yet? Okay, we'll come back to that. Okay, so we're going to keep going. And what I'd like to share with you right now is what we have used to lay the foundation for this program. So we took, yeah, Jasmine, did you want to say something?
Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to align our program with, thought leaders in the family engagement space. And so we referred to NAFSFE and the National PTA and the Dual Capacities Foundation for family engagement, and they are leaders in the field. And so if you visit their sites or if you're familiar with their organizations, they have standards that they follow. And we're going to go over those in the next slides. And I'm going to kind of dissect them. We're going to do high level just because this is more of an overview of our program. But we did want to introduce it to you and be as transparent as possible with you on how we decided to create this program. So if we go on to the next slide.
Yes, and as I'm going to the next slide. Just
Did you
to
want to add something?
yeah, I'm just piggyback off what you said, Vicki, that these the scope and sequence was really, and the more importantly, the implementation recommendations are they're taking a little bit from each of these organizations, and so you'll see some language and that is very familiar, I think, if you're familiar with these frameworks, but they are really meant to kind of align with just what are the best ways to successfully families. And so Vicki will walk through how you can take this program and use those standards.
Yeah, so thank you, Jasmine, for that. That was really helpful. As a former educator, when it came to family engagement, I felt that that was the last thing that got my attention. And I almost didn't have a framework for it. It was just like share resources with your family. And so I was given something and I would share it with them, right? Without giving it much thought. But it doesn't really take that much more thought. If you're already planning your program, it's always easier to have a framework, right? And so if you think about it in these ways, it can really lay the foundation for how you present these resources to your family. So be really thoughtful about what you're going to share. All of these resources are available for you, but you will have to make that decision on what's going to work best for your families, correct? You're going to see what's going to be relevant. Is it going to land well? Is it going to reach them where they are? And so you, as the person with that experience with that community, is going to make the best decision for them. So some things you can keep in mind are, for example, reflect. So when we talk about reflecting, I think one of the most important things we can do is create that welcoming space to honor and respect our families. We know that our families come from diverse backgrounds. Our country, our world is becoming more diverse every day, and we want to give space to that. We want to provide a space for them. We want to welcome them. We want to also include them in our programming. So the way that we have aligned that with our FACE program is we've included culturally and linguistically inclusive resources. So that can be anything from a resource or digital content materials that we share with you, or it could also be in our live events. For example, we share our parent talks in Spanish as well. We present in Spanish as well. If we could present in other languages, we would absolutely do that as well. But the beauty of that is that when we are sharing things, it's not always just directly translated. So we don't just translate, we transcreate, and that's what we like to say. And so when you're thinking about the types of materials that you're going to share with your families, as Kim asked earlier, do we have resources for the Ukrainian community? Find what you can, make adjustments, but really be thoughtful, like Kim was being. Be thoughtful about what you can share that will reach them the best and really make an impact. The other things that we recommend for including families and their culture and really trying to connect with them is sharing those tip sheets. We have them in English and Spanish, and then we have additional languages. We have 8 additional languages that may represent your community. So take a look at that bundle, and it's also included in the toolkit. Our videos can also celebrate and highlight different cultures and communities, also family values. We have an additional page on our website. It's Celebrating Community. We know it's important for kids and families to see themselves represented in the media that they consume. So, look for ways that you can engage them, not just with the resources that we think we should have, but what we know that would be better for them. So taking their backgrounds into consideration. Okay, let's go on to the next slide. The next thing we want to do is connect. So we know that we could sit there and connect with your families, and we have the 4 parent talks, but we want to build that relationship with you so that you can work with them. So it's like a train the trainer model. We want to empower you to have these resources and these skills so that you can engage with them, because you are the ones that are building that trust with them. And so when we're creating our programs, we also take that into consideration. We want to make sure that we equip you with really high quality and really relevant, culturally relevant, linguistically relevant, just community relevant resources, because we want to help you make those relationships work to the best of your ability to be most effective for your program. So what we do is we provide our resources in a variety of formats. We know that parents and caregivers and children, they all have different learning styles, they all have different needs. So, I might like to read an article, but my husband might like to watch a video with parenting tips. So we have different formats that can work best for your family. So if you feel that your families would do better with a text message, we've created some text messages for you. If you feel that they would be better with a short video, if you feel that they like something that they can refer back to, we have our tip sheets or our articles. So what we recommend is to share the quick tips and the text messages. We know that our families are on social media a lot. And so if you can reach them that way, that's fantastic. Engaging with them through social media. Some of our partners, they use WhatsApp, and there's also translation apps that people use to communicate with their families. So there's one in particular that we recommend. It's called Talking Points, and that's been really helpful for teachers and other family engagement professionals to connect with their families, especially their families who speak languages other than English. For example, if they're not an English speaker, or if you don't speak their language, it's a really great way to connect with them. So take a look at those recommendations. And then we're going to go on to the next. The next one is collaborate. We know that it's really important to collaborate with our families. It takes a village, as they say, and a lot of times our families, for different reasons, many times for cultural reasons, they will leave this up to the teacher or the family engagement specialist. But we need to sit there. We need to change that narrative. We need to empower them to know that they were their child's first teacher, and that we really want to work with them to highlight the strengths in their family and in their children. So partnering with them, co-constructing programs, taking their ideas into consideration. Sometimes what we see is making a parenting group, like an advisory board with your parents, taking their ideas and their concerns into consideration. And taking the cognitive abilities of their children, their emotional, social emotional health into consideration, their physical and social development as well. So the way that we've aligned it with our FACE program is that we have tools that you can actually use to assess your family's needs. And for example, in our family engagement, we have some other family engagement resources, and we actually have a digital like survey that you can use to learn what your family's needs are. You can also link those engagement efforts to what students are learning. So take that into consideration and see what will work best to get you further with your families in terms of collaboration. And then we also have those presentation slides for you, that if you want to host your own parent talk or training, you can use those presentation slides to engage them in a parent talk. You can use those virtually. You can also use them in person. They are available in English and Spanish. And just encourage that interactive learning and also that community building. And we also have our family activities that come from our digital citizenship curriculum that many schools and other programs are using with students. And then we have our family tech planners, which it's like a family media agreement for families to sit down and create a plan on what media and tech use is going to look like in their families. And then did you have anything to add, Jasmine?
Actually, yeah, Vicki, I was going to share those presentation slides just so folks can see where to find them and what they look like, because we have 10 sets of these slides that are each related to the topics within the toolkit. So I'm just going to share my screen again so you can see we have these decks prepared for you to be able to have parent workshops and conversations, and they're already done for you. You just have to, you can take them and plug them right into an event that you're having with families, and to be able to have those conversations. So I'm going to share my screen again here. And so if you're back in the toolkit, and this is just an example of one for our relationships and communication topic, where we have these decks that are available in English and Spanish. So if you just click here.
Are you sharing that screen? Because I can
Yes. I'm sorry. Can you see?
I see where it says collaborate still.
Oh, let me try that again. 1 second. Okay. Okay, here we go. So sorry, let's go back. So I was saying, within the toolkit, if you're looking, this is an example of relationships and communication, our parent talk there. It's available in English and Spanish. So if you click this link in the toolkit, it will take you to the decks that we have built for you all that have slides with information on what parents need to know. It has some of our research there to share with families, some tips and advice, and conversation starters to, have these questions, have these conversations. And so we have these decks available for, like I said, each of the topics available in English and Spanish. So if you're in the toolkit and you're looking to have a conversation around relationships or parental control or media balance or AI, we have these decks available for you. They're already done, and you can just take them, like I said, plug and play with them. So I just wanted to share that so you know that those are available.
Yeah, perfect. And another thing is that we have, and I don't, maybe you said this, but we have recommended a scope and sequence, but you can go in whatever order you want. That's just a recommendation. So, you mentioned AI right now, and I know that's like a big deal right now. It's like all over the news, and it's just exploding, right? And so a lot of parents might want that information now, for example. So feel free to just take what is more relevant for you right now. Is there an opportunity to join the cohort? Kim, why don't you email me separately and let me know what was going on? It says that you were at the beginning of your school year. So we'll look at things on a case-by-case study basis. So just, email me, and then we'll get to the rest of the questions at the end of our presentation. So let's continue to go on. We have the last one, which is lead alongside families. So this is about being like a thought leader, right? And so we also, I mean, you can look at it both ways, right? Like, I'm going to lead alongside families. I'm not going to do everything for them. I'm going to lead with them. So as a good leader, you want to lead with them, right? But you want to keep improving your skill and your program. So if things aren't working, you change. We continue as teachers, as people that are advocating for families, we always strive to improve and learn the latest and greatest, pedagogy or tactics. And so we encourage you to do that. And because of that, we've created these learning opportunities for you. So we have those professional development opportunities, and then the connection with the Slack channel. We want to create a space for you to even grow your own network. So use the Slack channel also to connect with other family engagement professionals or educators or other family advocates, so that you can learn from one another. You never know. You might make a really great contact. You might partner up with your organization or your school district. So use it to grow professionally and also personally. And then, so we recommend you attending, and we thank you for being here today for our first professional development session. And, if you can't make it at this time, we know it's a difficult time in the middle of the day, but they are recorded. So always, always register for them, and then you will always receive the recordings afterwards. So make sure that you do that, and also share the parent webinars as family leaders, as family engagement professionals, as teachers. we can also learn just by watching our parent talks as well. So I'm giving that parent talk, or Jasmine's giving a parent talk, or another expert. You learn that lingo. And then when you get those questions, those are the kind of conversations you can have with your family. So that's another opportunity for you to improve just, your knowledge on digital citizenship, on digital well-being. It's a complicated, issue, and it's constantly changing and evolving. So the more you can learn, the better you will be equipped to help your families. And then advocate, protect, accountability. We do a lot of work in our advocacy, on our advocacy team, to help kids stay safe, and also to get them access to technology and to internet access. So you can contact your local senator. I think there's going to be a link there. I don't know if you've heard in the news, but big tech is being held accountable, and we have something, we have some efforts there that we help support. Also, social media companies are being held accountable. I don't know if you heard, I think it was Instagram that they just integrated like a safety feature for kids, for young kids, for like 13-year-olds on their platforms, to verify their age, to make sure that they are actually of age to be on social media. So all of our efforts, if we work together, we can help with this really complicated issue. It takes all of us to work together, and including us and including your families. And I think that's it for now. I think that is what we have covered. So I would love to hear from you. Jasmine, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, so we just want to take a moment, if you can, in the chat, just maybe share some ways that you will use some of these tools, or just any ways that you are reflecting, connecting, collaborating, and leading alongside families. We'd love to hear, what are the things that are working for you? What are the things you're seeing? And so we can take a moment in the chat to share those, and let us hear what's your family engagement strategies. And also, I think there's a few questions that we can, while you guys are typing that, some questions that we can answer too, Vicki.
I'm looking for the chat, and
so the name of this presentation.
I can't see the chat.
For this presentation, this is our first professional development training. We will share the recording after. Mila, I'm not sure if that's the presentation you're referring to. If you're referring to the presentation I was sharing on screen before, that one was our relationships and communication presentation, and it's available in the FACE toolkit.
Cool. I don't see the chat, so if you just want to read some questions.
On the screen, the questions are on the screen there, Vicki.
Oh, I see them. Sorry. Thank you. Are there parent surveys for feedback? There's also feedback for us.
We do have parent surveys that we have templates that you can take and use. We have surveys for our parent talks and webinars that we share out after the presentation, but you're more than welcome to take some of those questions, modify it, or add to them so that you can get feedback from your families after your parent events.
Yeah. And if you come to office hours, or if you want to put a question in the Slack channel as well, like if you don't know how to set a survey up, for example, I can show you how to do that through Google. I do mine on Google. I just do a Google survey. So I'm happy to walk you through that as well. We do have the digital life survey, but that's more of assessing the needs of your family. So if you are going to engage them in any type of conversation that centers around media and tech, you can send this digital life survey out to them before you plan your events or your initiative, to ask them what their greatest concerns are. And again, if we don't cover it, if we can't show you today, just go ahead and email me, or come to my office hours, or just engage with me in Slack. I'm happy to share things with you too. We share right resources, Facebook, Remind. That's wonderful. So cyber safety evening. So next month, our parenting talk is going to center around privacy and safety, and we'll have some cybersecurity info also on that parent talk. So make sure to share that information with your community so they can attend our parent talk.
Yeah. Okay.
We have our upcoming webinar. We actually have the registration link ready for you. So you can find this, you can share it here. Elena's going to share it for you here, but you can also find it in the hub under our events page, the one that Jasmine shared with you. I also remind people in our Slack channel, and it will also be available in next month's email, although that's going to be only a week before. So the sooner you can share it, the better, just to give parents more time. So feel free to share those links now, and registration is open. I also recommend that you sign up for them, because even if you can't attend, you will receive the recording straight to your email. Would you? And then the professional development that's coming up, the next one is on November 13th, and we don't have a topic for that, because my hope is to work with you all. We have the cohort that's going to be consulting me also on what those needs are. You all are out in the community with schools and with other programs. And so I want to lean on you to see what your needs are, what you're hearing out there. So if you're not in the cohort and you still want to suggest a topic for a professional development session, please, again, put that in the Slack channel. That would be fantastic, just to take your ideas into consideration.
I just want to reiterate what Vicki said about the parent talks, that they are available for you all to share. All of our resources are free, and so there's no cost for any of the things that we're sharing. But for the FACE program, we really want to be able to offer kind of almost an exclusive access to these parent webinars first. They're recorded, they're available for anyone to watch after, like Vicki said, but to have that live engagement, so you can share those talks out with your families. And we are hoping that you'll do that so that they can come in and get the information from us. The rest of the resources, like the hub and the toolkit, the professional development, those things that we're offering specifically to our FACE program members. If you know of anyone who's interested in being able to join the Slack channel, or to get the monthly emails, or to be part of the PDs, all they have to do is just sign up for the FACE program, again, free. And then they have access to all of those things, as well as the parent talks that you can share out. So parents do not need to join the FACE program to attend the webinars. We just ask that you share it with them. They can register and join us.
Kim was asking where the templates are. Those are in the implementation plan. Do you want me to link it here?
We can share it in the, if you have the link, you can put it there. We can also share it in the follow-up email.
Okay.
Or if you're on the...
I have it here. Tell me if you can access that. This is an implementation guide. This is, it's an Engaging Families in Digital Citizenship implementation guide for family engagement. And then it's a 3-step process or guideline. And down on, let's see, under the first one where it says plan family engagement, it's called the Digital Life Survey, and it's available in English and Spanish. And so when you click on those links, it'll prompt you to make a copy, and then you can customize it.
I think Elena is sharing the links for the parent webinars, and then I will just add the link for the template. Right.
Oh, you pulled the template out of it? Of the Digital Life Survey, that one?
No, the implementation guide. So it's in there. If you go into that guide, the template are there.
Yeah, I put that in there. Do you not see it? Maybe it's only going to my studio chat.
No, it's the chat for the audience, for everyone to see. So
yeah, I don't think I can do Okay.
Okay.
And then if you can also help us by providing feedback for today's session, we would greatly appreciate that. Again, you can capture the QR code there. You can also just access it with the link that'll be shared with you in the chat. It just helps us to plan for future webinars and professional development sessions. So if there are questions, we can stay on for a little bit more if you have any other questions, or if you have any other last thoughts, Jasmine.
No, we just really hope that you all are able to, dig into all of the resources into the toolkit, join the Slack channel, look out for the monthly email, share the webinars, attend the PDs. I know there's a lot there. You can engage with as much of it as you possibly can, but we just hope that, you'll find these resources useful. And if they're not useful, let us know too. And we, want to hear from you all. We want to make sure that we're getting you exactly what you need for working with your families, having these conversations around media and tech. And so let us know what we can be doing. And we really appreciate you all joining us today.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.